Hello, welcome to another rambly INFJ ramble. I don't really know where I'm gonna go with this video today, but it's gonna touch on a little bit on our inclination to be deep thinkers, and then it's also gonna touch on our inclination to be overthinkers, and then maybe even touch on indecisiveness. I don't know. Let's see where this goes. So I was on my break and I was thinking about something that happened today at work. And it was just really super simple and super random, but I was super indecisive about making a decision. And I told my coworker that, they can do whatever they want, and then I will it had to do with ovens. Yeah. She was like, hey man, do you want top oven or the bottom oven? And I was super indecisive in that moment. And I caught myself being indecisive, and I was like, why is it so difficult for me to make this decision? And I caught myself basically kind of going into people pleasing mode, where I'm just like, hey man, just take whatever one you want, and then whatever the other one, the one that you don't use, I will use it. And she was like, no, like, you have priority, I want you to choose. And I was just like, why am I having the hardest time deciding? Because honestly, maybe your decision could determine whether something is easier or harder for you, but overall it really doesn't matter, because if it's easier, you learn something. If it's harder, you learn something. It's all a learning experience. So I'm just like, why was I being so indecisive? Oh, because I was people pleasing and I wanted her to choose the one she wanted, and then I took the leftovers. So knowing this, I'm like, okay, this is something I really need to revisit, and I need to be more proactive about, so that I don't catch myself like in that jam again. So yeah, with the indecisiveness, I was thinking, okay, I feel like that's tied in not only with people pleasing, but also overthinking. And what am I overthinking? I think when I was younger, I was more prone to overthinking a lot. But as I get older, and then I have like a certain amount of mental energy in my reserve, I don't know, I just don't spend as much time overthinking. And I've kind of trained myself to not take things so seriously, almost like having a child's mind. You know how like a child goes in the world and they're just super like in awe of everything, and everything is just so magical, and it's also like exciting, and they kind of like, children approach things with curiosity. I feel like that's the kind of mind I have as I get older. There's some things you take seriously, obviously, but for the most part, I just try not to take things so seriously, because I feel like when you're too serious, not only are you exerting a lot of mental energy, you're also kind of like in control freak mode. Like, oh, I need things to be this way, and I need things to be that way, and it needs to be done at this time, and yeah, I don't have time for that. I just don't have the threshold that I did when I was in my 20s. So now I just kind of laugh at everything. And it's funny, so this place that I work at, nothing really makes sense, and every day is new. So it's not like there is a set plan in place. It's just like you get in there, and then you just kind of look around and you make things happen. You know what I'm saying? So if you were to take things too seriously, I think you would stress yourself out. And I'm not about stressing myself out, honestly. I think as we get older and wiser, we realize that some things just isn't that serious, But like I said, yeah, I understand there are things that I need to take seriously, but for the most part, I just like to laugh, because I'm not going to stress myself out or like overthink something that, I don't know, doesn't really require that much mental energy. Oh my God, totally random. Found this popcorn, so good. Boom Chica Pop, sweet and salty kettle corn, so good. Anyways, going back to my video and indecisiveness and people pleasing and overthinking. I just don't overthink things anymore. I just don't care. In fact, I've caught myself being more random as I get older. Like more spontaneous. Just finding that balance point. Because when I was younger, I used to be super like overthinking, trying to control everything, people pleasing, and way serious. And now I'm just kind of like balancing the scales out. I think it's something you need to like go through in order to like maybe recognize. Anyways, yeah. So since I've covered indecisiveness and overthinking, I think indecisiveness and overthinking also is rooted from anxiety. Think about it. Like, oh my God, I don't know, like I'm so worried if I do this, then this will happen. I just don't worry. I'm trying to literally purge worry from my system, because if you think about it, the mind creates a lot of problems. The mind creates a lot of like anxiety. The mind creates a lot of indecision because it's overthinking, and it really doesn't need to be that complicated unless you want it to be. Now we're going to flow into being deep thinkers. I think INFJs are deep thinkers. I think there's other personality types that are also prone to thinking deeply upon things. I haven't really met too many people who think deeply on things, honestly, in my life. And that's why I've kind of learned to just kind of become my own best friend, because if you can't find someone outside of you to have deep conversations with, might as well have them with yourself. I don't know. It slightly bothers me that I can't have satisfying conversations with others. Very slightly. But then I also realize that most people just don't think deeply upon things. Maybe because it's not fun for them, but it's fun for me, and I'm sure it's fun for you, right? And I looked up like the characteristics of a deep thinker, and I've written them down just because I did not want to waste any mental energy trying to recall from memory. And they're all absolutely true. Listen to these 12 traits of a deep thinker. Value solitude. Absolutely value solitude. Like, I can be social, and as I've gotten older, my ability to socialize longer has increased, just because I've learned to self-regulate, and I've learned to discern like whose emotions is whose, and not take them on, like not take responsibility for them. Like, I can still feel people's stuff, but I don't take responsibility for them anymore. And I also don't personalize or identify with things, so that just takes a huge weight off my shoulders. Yeah, took a lot of practice, guys. Like, did not come easy. I just got to a point in life where I just didn't want to feel like yucky anymore. I didn't want to suffer. I noted that life is short and my time is valuable. So how do I want to spend my time? I don't want to spend my time feeling yucky. So that's why I've just kind of like been like digging to the root of things on how to like remedy the situation within myself. And that's the remedy. Just let things be. Don't take things personally. A lot of people are projecting their stuff on you. That's not your responsibility. You're not here to save people or change them. You're just here to hold space and be light within yourself. Yes. The world is heavy as it is, so don't add any more weight to yourself, you know? In fact, I think most people need more lightness and brightness. So that's what I've been working on, just being lighter and brighter in my own energy so that when I go out in the world, then I can, bam, you know, shine it out. Anyways, I just totally went off topic. Prone to overthinking. Yes. On certain things. But like I said previously, I have kind of changed my brain to not really overthinking on things unless I really have to. Unless something really needs to be resolved. Then I might put more mental effort and energy into something. But if it's something really silly and minor, I just kind of let it be. You know? It just doesn't really need that much of my attention. Visionary. I agree. I feel like deep thinkers because we have like analyzed things from so many different angles and different like depths and degrees. We have a tendency to maybe be able to forecast and see things that maybe the normal person would overlook, you know? Like, I feel like, I don't know, for me, I don't know about you guys, but for me, analyzing information is so fun. I think it's so fun. Like, and this takes me back to when I was a child. When I was a child, I think I was reading before I was 1 year old. Supposedly, my mother told me. She said that I was reading at 8 months old, and I remember for fun, I would spend time alphabetizing my animal cards, and I had hundreds of them, and that was fun to me, you know, and just kind of like reading all the facts and information, looking at the imagery, and then alphabetizing everything. Yeah, that was fun. So I think we love information and data. I know I do. Just because it helps me to get a clearer view on what I'm dealing with, you know? Could be random stuff. What do they call that? Data hoarder. I'm a data hoarder, man. Yeah, like I remember like when I was in my 20s, I would just have like, I don't know, 35 tabs open, and I would be like scanning through all the information for hours, and just, I loved it, you know? And this makes us persistent, you know? And it's true. Like, I don't really give up on things easily, like, especially if I have a vision on something that I would like to pursue. I don't give up easily. Like, it takes a lot for me to throw in the towel. And that makes me stubborn as well. Like my mother said, I'm very stubborn. I can be impatient as well. To see results, because, you know, I've already like thought things through. I already have my objective, and so it's just like I just beeline straight towards my objective. And if it fails, I guess it just depends. Sometimes I'll be disappointed. Sometimes I'll just like fall down and pick myself back up and keep going until I reach my objective. And I think I can attribute that to a lot of the things that I've accomplished throughout my life. Just my sheer persistence and my vision, you know, knowing where I'm heading, you know, and then taking the necessary steps and actions to get there. Creative, yes. I don't know. Some of these things are kind of like intertwined, honestly. Creative, reflective, curious, love for knowledge, introspective. I feel open-minded. Like those are all kind of intertwined, you know. Like I'm a very open-minded person. Like I prefer people being radically honest with me, even though their viewpoint or the way they operate in life may be something I don't necessarily adhere to myself. If they are true to themselves and they are, you know, able to admit that about them, it could be super extreme stuff and I would still be cool about it, kind of, sort of. Like I'd be like, I respect you. I respect you for like being you and for knowing who you are, you know. And I may not practice those things, or I may not fully understand why you do that, but I respect you. Like I'm not going to like judge someone or I don't know, look down on them for being who they are. You know what I mean? And sometimes people will tell me some stuff and I don't really understand, but I'll keep asking questions because I want to understand. That's my whole thing. I want to understand, you know? And because I want to understand and I realize that there's just so many different facets of life because it's multifaceted, you know, I'm more than willing to branch out and expand my point of view and my perception. You know what I mean? I'm not just going to pigeonhole myself. And that's what I feel like that's what makes us creative. We get to see like solutions that most people would overlook. It makes us introspective. We love knowledge. We love learning things. We love like understanding things, which makes us curious, which makes us reflective. This is on the list. You know, reflective meaning like I like to like sit around and I guess it relates to self-awareness because I like to like observe my thoughts and I like to observe my inner dialogue and I like to observe my emotions and my feelings and the temperature of the room and the people in the room and all this stuff, you know, just so that I can again understand things better. I'm gonna have to wrap this up soon because I only have like 4 minutes. Empathetic, independent, absolutely. I don't believe anything anyone tells me at face value. I have a tendency to like maybe take on information if it seems valid, but then I will try to like research the heck out of it to make sure it actually is valid, you know, from different sources. And I use a little bit of my logic and my analytical side of my brain. I also use like my feelings, and it's just like a culmination of things that help me to determine what is truth, you know, because I always want to know the truth. I want to go deeper. And with that being said, I know in other videos I've said like, you know, it's all about consciousness and higher seats of consciousness and lower seats of consciousness. So if you think about it, because we are deep, not only can we access like the depths of consciousness, we can also in equal measure reach for the sky, you know? So the two are intertwined, like as above, so below. Or if you think about a tree, you know, like the tree can only like grow and expand as much as its roots have taken, you know, like root in the soil. So like I feel like INFJs are have the ability to not only go deep, very deep, to expand up this way too. So I guess like as we mature, we become well-balanced individuals, you know, and we are able to operate in a way that is most beneficial to ourselves and others. That just, I don't know, that was just like a random thought. That was not well thought through, what I just said. But I don't know if my video made sense. It's like 20 minutes long, and I'm so thankful if you made it this far. Sorry, like I said, sorry if I don't make sense. If you learned something cool, if you don't, that's cool too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching, and I hope you have a blessed day. Amen.